Welcome to another episode on our channel. If you hear any military aircraft during this episode, that's because we're not too far away from an Air Force Reserve base that is having an air show right now. And the other day they were practicing for the air show. I saw 4 Thunderbirds in formation. It was just an awesome sight to see. They were making a turn, and kind of reminds me when I was in the military. My husband and I were on not a very large mountain, but we had climbed up to some distance. We were at the top, and 4 Black Hawks went over us in formation. They must have saw us because they just, literally flew right above us back to where the base was. So it was just amazing. These things are absolutely amazing, make you smile to think that that kind of precision is possible. That I would never want to be a pilot doing that sort of thing. That would make me way too nervous. But anyway, the other day I read to you a statement from Big Bad Toy Store regarding the tariff policy, and I didn't have anything from Sideshow yet. A couple 3 days ago, I got something from Timewalker Toys. If you're looking for another 1/6 scale distributor, I think they deal with other things other than 1/6 scale. But if you're looking for a good company, Timewalker Toys is a great company, great customer service. I have never been disappointed with their customer service ever. They came out with a statement, and today I checked. Sideshow does have a statement, so I'll read you that too. So I'm not going to read you everything, but let me read what they've said about the tariff situation. On behalf of the entire Timewalker team, I would like to extend our heartfelt sympathies to everyone who has been impacted by the events of the last couple of months. We are living through difficult and uncertain times. It is our hope that rational minds will prevail to put an end to the chaos and needless turmoil, both at home and around the world. I'm just going to skip a few more things here. Anyone who has been following the news about the global trade war already knows there have been sharp and repeated increases in tariff rates on Chinese imports over the last couple of months. The current tariff rate on Chinese goods now stands at 145%. And there is presently no sign of a reversal in the direction of this rate. But frankly, it does not matter if the rate is 54%, 125%, 145%, or 1,000%. The effect is the same. Trade between the world's 2 largest economies has all but ground to a halt. Of course, the impact of this trade war, which is being carried out with all the subtlety, sorry to say this, but this is what's right, all the subtlety of an asteroid collision, if sustained at tariff rate of anything more than 20%, for more than a month, length of time it takes a container to travel from China to the U.S. will ultimately affect every aspect of life in the United States. So in no way do I want to give the impression that what we do for enjoyment, like collecting, is more important than the necessity of feeding your family or putting a roof over their head. Nevertheless, we are here to talk about your current and future orders and what you may be asked to do. So Karen, they're giving us context here. The answer to this question has as much to do with which distributor or factory we buy from as does the tariff rate at any given time. Some vendors can absorb a significant portion of the tariff rate, while others simply cannot afford to do so. I hear something going overhead. And while I cannot tell you what tariff surcharge you may be asked to pay for any given item at the present time, what I can tell you is that we will do our best to absorb whatever our sources cannot absorb, so that the impact of the tariffs on your orders will be as low as possible. So they're saying kind of what BBTS said, we're going to share in the pain, which hats off to them that they're willing to do this sort of thing. This has got to cost them an arm and a leg already, because collecting hasn't been as robust as it has been over the years. So anyway, so they want to talk about current pre-orders. Pre-orders placed prior to the advent of tariffs are potentially subject to a tariff surcharge. At the moment, however, nothing is shipping from China, as the elevated tariffs make any imports uneconomical. So they're not really ordering anything from China right now because it's a no-win situation. I get that. I totally get that. When tariffs revert to commercially viable levels, we will resume shipping with the various arrangements we have made with our suppliers. From this point forward, unless this situation changes, you may see a tariff surcharge line item added to your final invoice at imminent arrival, which will be communicated in advance on our product records and through our newsletter. What that percentage will be, if there is any charge at all, is heavily dependent on the market conditions and manufacturer, as suppliers have different resources and situations. As stated above, our intention is to pass as little of the eventual cost onto the buyer as we can. So that, in a sense, what I kind of hear them saying is, we may be able to get around some things when it becomes economically feasible. We may be able to get around some things by going through maybe different countries. Sorry. So sorry. I did this the other day. This helps a lot, as long as little Miss Evil doesn't come along and drink it underneath my nose. Oh. Okay. So yeah. So what I hear them saying one more time is that, I guess if I was in their shoes and I knew I'm going to get this much of a tariff through China, which is pretty much where almost everything comes from, but I can buy it from maybe a supplier in England, maybe that's the way I need to go. But even then, it still may not be economical, especially if you're looking at a 20% tariff, or, it's already hard to sell some items. So it doesn't make any sense, especially if people are pinching their pennies, right? Having to choose to put food on the table. This is what I hear them saying, or a roof over your heads. Can you even afford a 20% tariff? Can you even afford a 10% tariff? So they're just trying to figure things out, but what they want to do is they want to give you a heads up and then let you decide if that's a cost that you can afford to surrender, so to speak. And of course, again, the tariff is not for the country selling the item. The tariff is for the company here in the United States buying the item. So they have to pay an additional cost. Of course, they're going to pass that cost on to us. The additional cost that they paid goes to our government. So that's how that works. All right. So that's current pre-orders. New pre-orders, you'll be asked to check a box when you pre-order, acknowledging the possibility of a tariff surcharge. We are, as before, listing items at manufacturer MSRP, manufacturer selling rate, price, something to that effect, since we do not know the tariff situation, what the tariff situation will be when the item lands. This is the most transparent approach given the information at hand. Any surcharge will be updated on the product record on imminent arrival and noted in our newsletter. What else can you do? The first thing we would ask is for everyone to be patient as we monitor the situation and adapt to changing circumstances. The next thing we would ask you to do, if you live in the United States and decide to take a more active role, is to contact your representatives in Congress and demand they repeal the National Emergencies Act, NEA, that gives the executive branch the ability to unilaterally impose tariffs without the constitutional consent of Congress, because that's typically how it works. Tariffs usually have been done in the past through Congress, right? While we still have a representative democracy apart from the ballot box, this is the most powerful weapon we people have at our disposal. You might be surprised how adding your voice to the voice of millions of others across the land can turn the tide of history. Final thoughts for now. This year marks 22 years serving the collecting and collective community. We have seen many ups and downs, and we have made a lot of friends along the way. We are so grateful for all the support we have received over the years. More than anything else, we are and always have been poignantly aware that we simply cannot exist without you. So again, thank you for your trust and continued support. As soon as we have better news to report, I will get back to you. In the meantime, hold steadfast wherever you are. Thank you for your business and your continuing support of Timewalker Toys. This is from Stephen Allen. I've communicated with him in the past. Great guy. Never been disappointed with customer service. So I was going to take a break, but I think my throat's okay. And talk to you about Sideshow's formal stance. Hold on a second, let me find it. All right, so let me blow it up so I can read it. All right, so this is now we're switching from Timewalker Toys to Sideshow. Bear with me. This is Sideshow. With evolving trade policies and unexpected tariffs affecting both businesses and collectors alike, we understand this is a challenging time for many. Below you will find information regarding tariffs and how they may affect some items ordered on sideshow.com. Our commitment to you. We understand that expected changes are never welcome. While these tariffs are significant, we're doing everything we can to minimize the impact on you, the collector, because these tariffs were unforeseen and are dynamic in nature. They were not factored into the original item price. To offset a portion of these new fees, a tariff impact fee will be added to products that ship from the factory during the tariff period. It is our goal and intention to keep this fee at the smallest possible amount to best support the collecting community. Based on current conditions, we anticipate this fee to be 6%. My guess is that they have distributors that are getting items from China, and because they're a larger 1/6 scale distributor, so they have many more connections. So I think because they do have many more connections, they can get things more reasonably priced by getting items from China through other countries. Okay, 6%. It is important to note that the tariff impact fee does not apply to the vast majority of items on Sideshow.com. So they're already, and I do know that they're fairly well stocked. Actually, they're still trying to sell stock that they haven't sold for 3 to 4 years. I know that because I got a bunch of stuff from them over the holiday break. That was 3 to 4 years old, on sale. So their stock supply is probably not as weak as other companies' stock supplies are. Okay. Okay. If your order is affected, and I like that everybody's taking the same stance. This is good. If your order is affected, we will notify you in advance. We're also waiving standard non-refundable dependent or deposit rules. So again, this seems to be a prevalent theme. You know, they're going to let you know what the costs are, and if you don't want the item, they're not going to hold on to the deposit. Normally, if you don't want the item, you pre-ordered it, no longer want the item, they'll keep your deposit. In this situation, it's vastly different. It's not your fault. You know, you can't afford it. You know, it's going to mean food on the table or the roof over your head. They're going to just waive that fee, give you credit back. So if you choose to cancel, if the extra cost doesn't work for you, basically they're saying that's okay. Our goal is to ensure you feel comfortable and confident with every purchase from Sideshow. All right. And they're also saying we're hoping this trade situation is short-lived. Wow, that was close. And remain committed to keeping your costs as low as possible while still delivering the high-quality products and service you expect. Should tariffs be lifted, we'll promptly discontinue the tariff impact fee on new arrivals. So if you have any questions, they say get with them. All right. So again, they'll let you know, here's your cost. Do you still want it? And if you don't, it sounds like they're doing what other companies are doing. They're going to give you your deposit back. So yeah, this is not a fun time right now. You know, and I'm not sure, you know, how long it will take for things to re-stabilize. Maybe it won't take that long if tariffs were suddenly to go away overnight. But, you know, one never knows. It has been chaotic, and sometimes that breaks trust. And so, you know, we just don't know. But we're hoping for the best. Right now, we have to expect the worst, but hope for the best. But at least companies are coming out and saying, hey, listen, if you have a pre-order with us, this seems to be the common theme. You have a pre-order, we'll let you know the final cost, and you let us know if you can absorb that cost, and then we'll proceed with it. If not, you'll get your deposit back. So that's the good news, you know. That's the upright thing to do. And I just feel sorry for the companies, you know, who have absorbed some of these costs for a little bit now. So anyway, just wanted to update you. Everybody appears to be going in the same direction. I don't expect any company to go in any other direction than what I've heard from Big Bad Toy Store, from Timewalker Toys, and now from Sideshow. So hopefully that helps. I know we're counting our pennies now, and that's why I am going to be doing some repeats, but making it worth your while, showing you figures I've shown you before, but giving you maybe a little more history on the person or on the movie, that sort of thing. Creating more customs, because those things are still in stock with the 1/6 scale distributors, loose scale distributors that I know. And so I'll be creating customs while we're waiting for this tariff thing to figure itself out. Hopefully it does soon, but right now I'm expecting the worst and hoping for the best. So anyway, hope the information is useful. It sounds like companies are not trying to corner us into paying for things if we can't swing the additional costs. That's definitely good news. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've heard, not seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.